Hello world, I'm going to go walking around in the rain in Boonville. Maybe I won't get arrested this time. And I'm going to do a video blog of how wonderful it is to walk in the rain. Yes, I'm wearing my Bundeswehr 5-color poncho, as you can see. It's very nice. Completely camouflages. I mean, we're going to walk in the rain. The rain's good. Rain won't hurt you. It's just water. So, we'll see what's happening in the rain. Here we go. And it's raining. It's not pouring, but it's raining. It's sprinkling and tinkling. And like I said, I have on my 5-color poncho. Very nice. Let me button it up. As you can see, I have to button it up and all of that. Okay, and here's how it looks. Got on my big old John Stetson silver belly hat. It'll repel the rain, most falling objects. So here we go. Here's the yard. Isn't it pretty? And we'll go down here. And we'll look at this. There's the pear tree. I'm afraid the deer have decimated it. Once it was heavy with fruit, and now it is not. Oh yes, they've really eaten, and I mean eaten, the fruit off this tree. Pardon my French. They have eaten the fruit off this tree. As you can see, look, this was all pears, and it's stripped. They ate them slap up. There's still some up in the top, but the deer ate every one of these pears. And there's a moth flying in my face. But the deer ate every one of the pears. So here's the backyard. Here's the rain falling in the backyard. Surrounded by woods we are. And this is the backyard. It's quite large. About a 2.5-acre lot. It's pretty nice. And here's some woods. They're nice. We'll walk along the edge here. And this is a nut tree, as you can see. And there's plenty of giant oaks. Lots of thick woods, and this is on both sides of my backyard. Woods, 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 more woods. Full of deer, rabbits, critters, possums, skunks, and whatever else runs in the woods. And here's this beautiful limb that goes straight down to the ground, and I like to get under it and pretend like I'm hiding. Ha ha ha. See, I can get under it. Ooh. I probably need to cut it, but I hate doing that. So, this time we'll walk through these woods. Last time we walked through the other woods where I found the deer skull, but this time we'll walk through these woods. You can see as we go that even when it's raining, it's less rainy in the woods because of the trees. You see there's giant oaks and nut trees of various sorts. Pecan, walnuts, hickory nuts, the sassafras plants. The sassafras, the sassafras root will cure almost any kind of fever or illness. Little oak saplings. However, we do not have any elms. No elm trees. Because the Dutch elm disease came through here and wiped them out. Wiped them slap out. So now we come down into what's called a swale, S-W-A-L-E, where the water drains. And you can see the deer trail right here. Can you see it? Right there. Runs right up through there. Nice little deer trail. And the deer walk down through here, and they get over in my yard and eat my pears. And here's some grasses growing in the woods. In this little swale. A swale. Not a swell, a swale. Yes, S-W-A-L-E. And here's a kind of a cleared out space where there's not a lot of stuff growing for some reason. And it's a little woods clearing. You can see All kinds of nut trees. Really nice, deep woods right here in town. And here we come on a little draw. Now see, you can see the deer trail right here. I don't know if you can see that. See that deer trail right there? Goes right up through there, goes right across that little creek, and right up that hill. And this is where they like to roam. They get out here and lay down. And sometimes you can walk right by them, and as long as you don't do anything, they'll just lay there and look at you. They won't move. And here's a little ditch, a little natural runoff. And it's pretty cool if you like stuff like that. And you can see here's the deer trail. The deer trails are very narrow because they don't just stomp and spraddle out. Oop. And here's a little deer trail running right here. And we'll walk along it. Very nice. You should get in touch with nature to keep yourself balanced. Now then, here's a small game trail for little critters. The little critters been running through here. And here's this little creek. I'm gonna watch out for snakes. It's snake country. Don't want to get bit. Although the serpents don't like to come out in the rain. Believe it or not, they don't like it. And here's this little drainage stream draining merrily along. Merrily, merrily, merrily it drains along. And it comes down into this little sandy area. And here's a big, huge, giant split oak that, I mean, it's probably 100 feet high. And it's split. So the tree is actually older than it looks. But the twins, the arms that split off, are younger than the old tree. And here's a little sandy area, and believe it or not, you can actually come a cropper here, because sometimes these little places will have quicksand. And because of the way the water pools, and you can actually, within sight of your house, get sucked down in a quicksand pool and be lost to society. And here we go. Down through the woods we go with a hidey, 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 hidey hole. And here's the stream. It streams along. And this hill here are the old ramparts for the Confederate artillery battery during the Battle of Boonville. When the Confederates turned the Yankees back, Yankee cavalry came down through here, and the Confederates had 16 guns up on this hill here. And you can still see the ramparts. Most people don't know this, but this is the old Confederate battery. We'll go up there in a minute and look at it. But this little stream winds on and on, on and on, on and on. Watching for serpents. Yes. Oh, and there's a Coke bottle. No, hell. Who would do that? Oh, I know who would do it. Somebody who likes to litter. A litter bug. Now here's a nice little animal burrow. It's probably a musky muskrat or some kind of water critter. But you can see it right there. See it? Oh, I wonder what lives in it. Hope it's not something fierce and nasty and he's going to come snapping out at me. So I won't bother him. So we'll go up to here. Here's some nice grapevines. Look how they go up and up and up into the canopy. And the fruit will be up in the top of the trees. And as you can see here, whoop, these are the old redoubts for the Confederate artillery battery right here. All along there. It's never been excavated. Here's a deer trail. And I'm not big on Civil War digging. I mean, if I could find something laying on the ground, yeah, that's cool. But I'm not one of these maniacs that likes to go digging around in graves and dig up graves and find buttons and pieces of uniforms and all of that. I know there are a lot of ghouls who do it. Here's a pretty little woods mushroom. Little yellow one. growing in the rain. Oh, I don't know how these Coors beer cans get out here. I guess alcoholics sneak out here and drink them. And as you can see, the land is totally rising as we come to the top of these old ramparts where at one time brother fought brother and a lot of blood was shed. There's 16 cannons up here on this hill. Right here. You can see down where we were. These are Confederate battery works. And they were so comprehensive that here these many years later, they're still here. Of course, they're overgrown with trees and stuff. There's a nice little curly grapevine. See how it curls. Up and actually that's another vine growing parasitically on the grapevine. And somebody will probably see me out here and call the police on me again. But here's a big mighty oak tree of many years seniority. Just a giant. In fact, here's how big it is. This tree is so big. Here's my hand, and here's the tree. That's how big it is. And it goes up and up and up. It's a gigantic oak tree. The trees really flourish around here. I guess the soil is enriched with the blood in the body of all those dead rebs. Yeah, we're right on top of the old redoubts, the ramparts as it were. I'm walking around. I hope I don't see a snake. I don't want to get bit. Ah, here's a burrow. See there? But nothing's been in and out of that one lately. You can tell because the pine straws across the mouth of it. And that's how you do that. You can tell if something's been in and out of the burrow by the tracks and the marks and the hairs left around the edges and whether or not there are spider webs over the mouth of it. So we're on top of the redoubt. You can see back down the hill. And this is not a historically protected place. People come out here and fart around. I run them off when I see them. Because I think that history should be preserved, not looted. You know, a lot of these people around here have these gigantic, well, let's see what this is. Well, I don't think the Confederates used plastic, so that's probably not a relic. But a lot of people around North Mississippi have these gigantic Indian arrowhead collections. And they'll have big, beautiful ceremonial spear points that we know were used in the burial. And they'll say they found them. And they didn't find them. They didn't find them at all. What they did was they found a mound, dug in it, desecrated it, took all those treasures out, and then claimed they found it. And they'll have these big Indian arrowhead shows and conventions around here, and these guys will show off these wonderful collections and sell these pieces. It's totally unrighteous. And it's from them looting mounds. You don't find 6-inch obsidian projectile points laying on the damn ground. Those were traded for from Maine and brought to this area down the old Appalachian Trail, down the old Indian Trail networks as trade goods. Yep, and gifts from a northern cousin. Anyhow, here we are at the top of the breastworks. Here's a good burrow. Look at this one. Ooh, might be some snappy and mean in there. A burrow. I wonder what's in it. What would dig a burrow like that? Fox don't do it. A gopher? A badger? We do have badgers. I know I've seen it. Oh, here's a relic. Look. Look, y'all. It must have been on summer maneuvers. It's a Confederate flip-flop. How about that? Yeah, they were summer soldiers. They were out here during the heat of summer and they had on their flip-flops. That's it. And their wool gray shorts and t-shirts. And see, you can see here where a buck has scraped along this little thing walking down this deer trail. And the deer don't like to run through really crowded woods. They like to run through open woods. Let me get this off here. Someone marked on the place and I'm going to unmark it for them. Ha ha ha. It must have been the Rebs, because here's a Dixie cup. Ha ha ha. I don't know why people want to litter. I mean, the city picks up garbage free. There are garbage cans everywhere you go. You have a home with a garbage can in it. But no, they got to throw them out here. And here's a gigantic oak tree. And it is just covered with parasitical moss. And we zoom in. Got a great big bowl on it there. It's covered with parasitical moss. Yes, it's very old. Okay, so we'll go back down the hill. Back down the ramparts, as it were. And there's probably all kind of relics around here. But like I said, I don't like to dig for them. It's ghoulish. Let those people lay at rest. I don't have some burning desire to pretend like I found something and go show it off to a bunch of other assholes, when actually what I did was dig in a grave. I ain't gonna do it. If I find any bones, it's because they're laying on the ground. And that's just me. Oh yeah, this proves it was a summer battle. Look, they were drinking Powerade. Son of a bitches. Okay, anyhow, down we go through these deer trails. And this is some deer woods. The deer love to come through here and eat the oak mast. Not necessarily the acorns, but the mast. If you're familiar with oak trees, the mast is that flowery stuff that falls off the top of the oak trees. And they like to eat it. They like to eat it alive. And you can see here where the deer have cut back across the little wash here. You want to watch for snakes and stuff. And I'm going to jump it. Here we go. Jump. Ah, yes, how refreshing. Okay. And we'll follow these open woods up through here and go down the deer trail. And here's where the pesky things come out and eat my pears. You can see where they've been through here. They nibble on this grass a little. They don't really like this grass. It's kind of tough. It's like the collard greens of deer grass. They won't eat it unless they have to. Oh, I'm hung up here. Hold on. And here we go. Ah, yes. Dang it. Come on, hell. Oh, it's a big old green briar. Got it. Ha, 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 ha. Okay, and here's the deer path. And you can see how it busts out through there? They walk through here every day. Just looking and looking. They come through here. And this is my yard. And they walk out from under this tree. And here's the yard. Isn't it pretty? Big old yard. And you can see there's just a world, a plethora. And I have a yard man who comes and cuts at the yard, but he rides a lawnmower. And being of a certain ethnic persuasion, he does not like to get off the lawnmower. He just runs over those sticks. And anyhow, here we go. And here's the back part. Lots and lots of foliage. As you can see, it's just as green as it can be. It's that big old tree. Covered in vines and sedge and honeysuckle and morning glories and grapes. And I've seen a big old red dog running out here, so I hope I don't run into him. I don't want to have to get in a contretemps with some crabby, cantankerous canine. But, and see, here's the back corner. Look how green it is. Look at those trees. Look at that. Like a rainforest. Oh, this is an old-timey southern yard. Big. Full of stuff. And so here we go. We'll go over here in the deer woods. And they don't like to go down in that part right there because it's kind of junky. We'll go in here and see if we can find some interesting bones. Since I am the bone man. Oh, here's a beautiful flower. Look here. Hiding. Isn't that pretty? How about that? And here's another. Isn't that pretty? And away we go down the deer trail through the woods. And deer trail, you can walk on it, but it's very narrow. They don't mind getting rubbed by the branches because it scratches their backs for them. It helps get the ticks and the fleas off of them. Here's something orange. Oh look, it's a little pears. Isn't that interesting? It's a little berry that's fallen off of something from way up in the canopy. You can see there's the canopy. It's way up there. And now back down we go into the deer woods. And we walk. And we walk through the deer woods. There's the trail. And they know the way. The deer have a gland in their hooves. You know, and of course they have cloven hooves, and there's a gland in between their hooves that secretes an odor, especially in the bucks when they're in the rut. And they can smell the trail. They know, they follow each other. And I saw a great big buck eating off my pear tree, and he was following a doe around, so she must have been trying to want to come into heat. So he was going to chase her till she came into heat. And just not leave her alone. Now here's an interesting old tree. You can see the woodpeckers and the squirrels have turned it into a hotel. Woodpecker and squirrel hotel. How about that? Okay, so the deer trail goes under this, and I don't want to go under that, so I'm going to go around. Now, and let me tell you, chichacos and tenderfeet, something you may not know about the woods. When you're walking in the woods, don't ever step on anything that you can step over, ever. You might step on a log and it be rotten, and your foot goes straight through it into a nest of hornets or fire ants, or you'd even break your ankle and step over it, not on it, over it. And there you have it. Not to wax pedantic, and you should of course know this. And here's a deer trail. See how it goes? And here's a wash, a drainage ditch, and it's just fraught with grapevines. You can see them, just a twisting and a snarling. See them right there? Look at them. And they spin around each other. Old men like to cut those twisted ones for walking sticks because they're very interesting. And here we are walking in the woods. Let's see if we can see anything interesting. I mean, the woods themselves are interesting. It's very quiet. I can hear a distant thunder roll. So we'll go back up this way. I haven't seen any wildlife, but of course I'm talking, so they would run and hide in their little burrows. Here's a cedar tree of many, many years seniority. And you can see it is big. It takes a long time for a cedar tree to get that big. And it's an evergreen. And here we go through the woods. Oh, here's a pretty little woods, my friend. Right here. See it? No, that's a persimmon. Sorry, that's a persimmon. Whoop, can you see it? There it is. That is a persimmon. That means there's a persimmon tree somewhere up in here. That's the cedar. There's a persimmon tree dropping persimmons, and that's a persimmon. And it's ripe, but I'm not going to eat it. I don't like them. And here is a green persimmon. So there's a persimmon tree up here, and these squirrels have been knocking them around. If you've ever eaten a green persimmon, let me tell you what, don't eat it. This is a piece of PVC pipe. I don't know why in the Sam hell it's out here. I don't know what kind of fool would throw something like this out here. What an irresponsible ass. He deserves to have his hair pulled. and for girls to laugh at him. Yes, and here's a little pile of bones from some poor critter that got ate. There's his little legs and his vertebrae, epicondyles. There's his little pelvic girdle. There's his little ribs. Poor little thing. Yep. Something got him. In the midst of life, we are in death. And look here. Here's something interesting. Here's Deer Highway. Here's an intersection of Deer 45 and Deer 78. We're going to stand here right at the crossroads. And there that one goes. And there that one goes. See? 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 And it's a crossroads. We'll go up this way, see if there's any bones. I hadn't heard the big cat squalling, so probably not any fresh bones. And here we go. Down through the woods. Oh, what a beautiful sleepy morning it is. Great morning to sleep in or to walk in the woods. And here we go. Here's a down cedar. You can see the outer bark will rot off, but that inner core of beautiful red fragrant wood will never dissipate. It's what people used to build their cedar chest out of. And it won't rot. It'll stay there forever. Center of the cedar tree. Some of them are yellow and some of them are red. And here's one complete, total asshole. Had to come down here and throw a beer can. No, it's a Coke can. He wasn't even drinking. He's just some fat ass drinking a Diet Coke. Hope he gets aspartame cancer. Anyhow, here we go. As we bustle along through the woods. There's no sense in polluting these woods. Why do that? That's just stupid. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. You know what kind of chichaco would do that? Here's a little wood snail, snailing about, going about his snaily little business. Yes, carrying the circle of infinity upon his back as his home. Won't disturb him. And here's a little wash. There's some gigantic piece of garbage up here. Let me go see what it is. People want to pollute my woods. It makes me so angry. Why do that? I mean, why? Look, here's a nice burrow. Whoa, somebody might be home in there. I see some scrabble marks. Look at that. Reckon he's in there. Hey, are you in there? Hey, man. Hey. Maybe it's, ooh, that's a big one too. Yes, and this is Burrow Creek. It can be dangerous to walk around these burrows in the rain because those critters are usually in, oh, it's that old farm junk. These critters are usually in their burrows in the rain, and sometimes they'll come snapping out at you. Like grouchy old neighbors. Get out of my yard. You're trespassing. Anyhow, they don't have a police force. They do their own policing. It's called teeth and claws. And I don't want to get bit by anything. That's not any fun. And so we're following this deer trail halfway up around this ridge. There's a green field somebody cut down there so they could shoot deer. People like shooting deer. It's fun for them to kill stuff. And I don't mind any man with children hunting for subsistence when he's filling up his freezer for the winter, you know, because he's got kids. But what I hate are these sportsmen that'll come out and you'll see a poor old buck running down the side of the road with an arrow stuck out of his butt, and it's like, you idiot. You can't shoot any better than that. Why in the hell are you shooting at deer? And I have actually shot older deer and rendered them out and found rusted broadhead arrowheads in them where some jagoff had shot at them and just fired a bunch of arrows at them. Get buck fever and go kill crazy. like a complete total asshole. And there's just a lot of people like that. In fact, people hunt in these woods, and they're not supposed to because it's within the city limits. But try to tell a redneck something, huh? So down we go. We're on a downslope now on this deer trail. And you can see it just goes. These woods go for miles and miles and miles and miles. And some of these smart little critters will get in their burrow and they'll pull leaves and stuff behind them so that it looks like there's nobody home. And many of the animals, pardon me, don't dig their own burrow. They live in the burrow of some other critter. And here's a nice little draw, a wash. Here we go. This is where a squirrel has been digging for nuts. See that? He smelled a nut there he had buried, and he was digging. See him really digging out? And squirrels do that. You see them digging. They're digging it, man. They're like groovy. Oh, I see it. Maybe a bone. Let me go find it. But this is a nice little draw here, a little creek. Sometimes you can find projectile points that have washed down in here, and sometimes not. And there's some bamboo growing on it. You can see right there. It's pretty. Cane. It'll eat your hands up if you try to pull it. Now this is pretty interesting. Here's kind of a little a hobbiton of little hobbity-like animals. See the burrows? That's a good one right there. There's something in that one. Look at that. Up under that tree. See it? Hey man, you in there? Let me stick my hand in there. Hell no, I'm not sticking my hand in it. Anyhow, we'll cross right here and hope that whatever that is doesn't come streaking out and bite us. Okay. Don't bite me. I can hear you in there clicking. Okay. Where was what I saw? Oh, here it is. Let's see what it is. Maybe it's a turtle shell. No. Believe it or not. Oh, it is a piece of bone. No, that's a mushroom. No, that's a broken piece of goddamn plastic. It's an old Clorox jug, damn it. Oh, trying to fool a happy man like that. What kind of dirty ass people are you? I fear that the archaeologists in 10,000 years will look at the remains of our civilization and say, what in the hell were these people doing? And here's a nice big clearing. Nice big old huge tree. Big old shellbark hickory. Big old oak next to it. These nice fish. Oh, God dang. How in the hell does trash get out here? Nobody ever comes out here. I guess it washes down from heaven. The angels must have been through with their power drinks and throwed them down here. And here's an old barbed wire fence, or as it's colloquially known, barbed wire, but it has nothing to do with any name of Bob or Robert. It's barbed wire. And it's just a relic from when this used to be a farm a long time ago. So I'm going to cross it, because they can kiss my butt. And here's a tree that's fallen. And here's some more woods. Yes, the last time I did a vlog, someone called the police on me. Maybe they won't do it this time. And you know what? I really don't care. And here's a nice little draw that runs down in that green field. It is hunting season, so I don't want to go down there and some jag off will probably shoot at me. I thought it was beer, man. I seen that hair. Here's a pretty little woods mushroom. And it's a very pretty one. Look at it. Oh, isn't it nice? You can see under it. See the bugs been eating it. Some of these mushrooms the deer like to nibble on them. I'm really afraid to cross that green field. Liable to be some 16-year-old with a 30-30 unload on me. So I'm not going to go out there. I'm going to cross the creek right here, as you can see. And here we go. We'll go back up this hill. And this very pretty land is rising. Got a lot of little grasses and nice little plants growing. The deer love it. I swear to God, if some son of a bitch shoots at me, I'm going to go up and whoop his damn ass. Because, yeah, it's hunting season, but you ain't supposed to fire a weapon in the city limits, and we in the city limits. Here's a nice little woods mushroom. You can see. It's beautiful. I won't disturb it since there's no sense in doing that. And as we come up through here, and I am actually what might be considered trespassing under the new Mississippi property laws, where you don't have to post your property. You wipe my lens off, all you have to do is own it. And if you're on property, you either have to own it or have written permission from the owner to be on it. And I do not have written permission from the owner to be on this property. So what I am going to do is go back the way I came. I'm not hurting anything, but a lot of people these days, due to the national temper that has been set in Washington, are greedy and grabby, and they will want to whoop your ass just for being on their land, as if that was some kind of crime. Here's a burrow. Look at that. That is a complex. Can you see down in it? Ooh, look at that. I don't like that. Something large and furry is liable to come bouncing out of that and bite the old happy man on his buttocks. We don't want that. So I'm going to leave him alone. No sense in bothering things. There's no harm in looking at things. And you should look at things. You should get around and walk around and look at things and become one with nature. I'll keep this little shell here, because you can see the tenants have vacated. And this is a little wood snail. They're very common to the area. But you can see within the simplest things of nature, you can see the spiral of infinity. Yes, you can. A mandala, as it were. Which is no creation of man at all. This is the creation of God, or the snail. Creation set in motion. But you can see it swirling away to infinity. And here's a young snail. So I just take this one with me as a